Happy Saturday, everyone, and happy early birthday, Becky. I know it's tomorrow, but we're going to celebrate a little bit early today and have some fun with this one. A nice little fast burner for you guys. But what we got coming up, plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, forearm side plank for 15 to 30 seconds per side, plank knee to nose, 10 to 20 alternating reps at a 1 to 2 second hold, forearm side plank with leg lift, or just forearm side plank again, 15 to 30 seconds, and a sumo squat for 3 to 5 reps. 2 to 3 rounds, we'll take that through just to really get the shoulders and core fired up a little bit. Then we're going to kind of get closer to a little bit more overhead work with this half Turkish Get Up with 3 to 5 per side. Back scale to high knee jump with 20 seconds per side of just steady dynamic movement. Dumbbell pause dip for 3, dumbbell push press for 3 with a 5-second hold overhead. And then we're going to finish off with some curtsy lunges for 6 to 10 alternating reps. You're going to rock that for 3 to 5 rounds. And then we're going to shift you over into that nice work set today. What we have for you guys, it's a fast one. It's a pretty quick work set. We're looking at 21, 15, and 9. Lunge, alternating, and push press. So it's going to be pretty fast. It's going to be pretty aggressive in terms of speed. So I want you guys to buckle up and have some fun. I'm going to have some different variations of this work set for the lunge and different options. So check the workout description at the bottom for one that suits your needs. Let's get you warmed up. Let's get you ready to go. All right, let's get you guys warmed up. Let's get those feet under the hips. We'll take the arms big and tall up overhead. We're just going to reach it over to one side. We're going to come back over to the other side. Big reach. Then we're going to come back through. Give yourself a little shrug. Pull the shoulders down and then forward fold. Touching those toes. We're going to walk up the shins. We're going to come down and frame a foot. We're going to step that foot back, nice and square in the hips. We're going to take the inside hand all the way up, bend at the elbow, and then reach straight ahead, and pull back. Reach straight ahead, pull back, and straight ahead, and pull back. Big reach up, rotate forearm to the floor. We'll come back up, big stretch, and plant the hand. We're going to step back into our down dog. Reaching those hips, nice and set. Walk those heels out nice and slow, nice and gentle. And then from here, we'll come back into our plank, stepping the other foot up. Inside hand, big reach to the sky. We'll bend at the 90, reach straight ahead, pull back, straight ahead, pull back, and straight ahead, pull back, big reach, and rotate. Forearm coming to the floor. We'll come back up, big stretch. Plant that hand, step back into your down dog, reaching those hips, set those shoulders, walk those heels out one at a time. Nice and easy, nice and gentle. As we pull into that nice plank, tiptoe those feet up, and roll ourselves up, big stretch overhead, big reach, and bring those hands down. Let's get you fired up. All right. Now, if you'd like to join, if you'd like to pause the video and continue doing a little bit of gentle warm-up for yourself, a little bit more upper body perhaps, cat-cows, thread the needles, some scap push-ups, not a bad idea. Pause the video, take that down, and then if you're ready to come join me, and we're going to talk to you about that first phase of warm-up. All right, our first phase of warm-up today is going to start off with a plank to down dog. So we're going to focus our attention on those shoulders and opening up that nice upper back. So I'm going to get myself in my plank position, gripping the floor with those hands. I'm going to press through the shoulders, pull the ribs in, pull the hips back and up into that nice down dog position. Now maintaining that good strong open upper back, I'm going to come through, trying to pull my ribs and hips in, pressing my shoulders to the ceiling, and finding that good hollow plank as I approach my plank position. Now pulling back and up, I find that good extension. My shoulders rolling away, still supporting that nice overhead position, and then I come back in, finding that nice tuck and press into that down dog, into that plank. So we want to make sure we're trying to build that skill to find that pulling of the rib, finding that press of the shoulder as we flow into our plank. If it's still kind of just really challenging finding that nice tuck in the plank, come back to your plank, reset the position in the plank, and make sure you're nice and stable before we pull back into that down dog. After that, we're going to come down into our forearm side plank. So we're going to get down on our side, and we can do this a couple different ways. I'm just going to recline out here with my legs nice and straight. My elbow is under my shoulder, nice and tall. I'm gonna squeeze and lift into that side plank. This hand can be wherever it needs to be for balance, all right? Or I can take this down with bent knees and just come from the knee. So I pull my heels back, I'm gonna lift and squeeze, taking this arm again, wherever I need it to be for balance and position. Keeping that shoulder active, so I have space between my neck and shoulder, and I'm always pressing into the floor here and lifting that hip up. So we want to make sure whatever position works best for you, give yourself that opportunity, 15 to 30 seconds per side. From there, the core is not getting an easy trip today because we're going to go into our plank knee to nose. So I'm going to roll into my plank position. My hands again just outside my shoulders, underneath. Tuck and squeeze. I'm going to keep my hips at the same level and pull my knee up underneath. Coming back through, pull up underneath, and come back through. So I'm trying to hold anywhere from 1 to 2 seconds in that knee to nose compression position. Still pressing through the shoulders. You see that I round my upper back a little bit as I bring my knee to my nose, but I'm trying to keep my hips level and in the same plane as when I started in my plank. It's very easy to rock up, but we want to try and stay nice and level and just sneak that leg straight up and then straight back. Take your time with that. There's a big range of reps, so 10 to 20. See what suits your needs today, and take it from there. Now our next one, we have our side plank again from the forearm with a little twist, with a leg lift. Or you can be like, no, Dave, not today. I'm just gonna focus on the side plank, and that's totally fine as well. So we set up our normal way for our side plank. Shoulder is over top of the elbow. I activate first. I lift through the hips, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift my leg up to wherever I feel comfortable. I'm gonna hold that position. Hand can be up, squeezing, holding, and maintaining that star. I can also do it from the knees. I can come up, I can work on lifting through the knee and holding that position as well. So I'm building that same kind of engagement, just not up on that straight leg. So I can play around the bent knee, straight leg on that bent knee position. So again, give yourself that opportunity to experiment with that a little bit. It's okay if you have to drop to your knee in that to kind of feel that for the first time, because you're gonna feel some really different sensations through the hip and through the glute. So we have 15 to 30 seconds per side. If you're choosing to do the leg lift for the first time, go to the knees to experiment with it and see where it takes you. Last but not least, we have our Sumo Squat. We've been using this kind of to get the legs kind of fired up a little bit throughout our day. So we're gonna get ourselves into our Sumo stance. Legs a little bit wider than my normal squat stance. I'm gonna take my hips to my heels as I push my knees out a little bit more than I normally would. Trying to keep my body as upright as I can and keeping those big toes and feet flat on the floor. So I'm really working through that good squat mechanic, just with a little bit more focus on those knees going out so they're not collapsing in with the wider stance. Quick recap, we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5, forearm side plank, 15 to 30 seconds per side, plank knee to nose, 10 to 20 alternating, add a 1 to 2 second hold per rep, forearm side plank with leg lift, or forearm side plank again, 15 to 30 seconds, and then a sumo squat for 3 to 5 reps. 2 to 3 rounds, rock that, get yourself going with that. It's gonna heat the core up, get the shoulders ready. We're gonna move into a little bit more upper body overhead stuff with the dumbbell right away. All right, our next piece of our warm-up is gonna kickstart off with our half Turkish Get Up. So if you need a little extra padding for your knee, that's fine. The knee is gonna come under the hip, the toe curled under in the back, hips are square, and I'm gonna squeeze and set that hip so it's nice and neutral. If you'd like to do this loaded, you can, or you can do it unloaded without a dumbbell, but we're gonna match the leg that's in front with the arm that's in the air. So whatever leg's up, arm is here. We're gonna set the arm out nice and solid to the side, and I'm going to tip and hinge over into my kind of a semi-side plank for the most part. Wrist stacked over the shoulder, shoulder over shoulder, and shoulder over hand. And they're gonna come back up. I like to hold these in each position for a couple seconds, so I'm not rushing or using momentum, but I'm always pressing into this arm into the air, and I'm always pressing into that arm into the floor as well. So we want to make sure that we're very stable, not just with the arm up, but really focusing on this arm so we're not sinking into that shoulder. 3 to 5 reps per side. If you'd like to add in a tempo for that, you're more than welcome to, or a hold per position. It's a really nice way to own both halves of the movement. After that, we're going to work on a little more leg action. So I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to work on a back scale to high knee jump or back scale to high knee. So I'm going to get myself set up, picking my favorite foot for today. I'm going to get set, hands are out for balance. I'm going to establish a nice straight leg in the back, so I'm engaged through the glute, square hips, and I'm going to hinge to wherever I feel comfortable in that back scale, keeping the hips square to the floor, and then I'm going to come through into that high knee. Or I'm going to come through into that little high knee hop. All right, so we're using that momentum of that leg coming through to lift and finish with the ankle. So we're not going to get a lot of height here, but we are going to work on that nice balance and that swing to vertical as we use that leg's momentum to help lift us and finish with the ankle. So again, for the back scale, just as a quick recap, we want to make sure the hip is square and the hip isn't opening to the side. We should be square to the floor, and I only want you to go as far as you can maintain that balance and that square hip. So we can build that skill as we get deeper and deeper to parallel. From there, we're going to work on our push press. So I'm going to grab my dumbbell again. I'm going to clean that dumbbell up to the shoulder, and I'm going to work on the skill of the pause dip. So my feet are under my hips, or just outside, depending on your ankles. I'm going to keep the hips under the shoulders, squeezing and setting my ribs and glutes. I'm going to dip and hold. I'm going to hold for 3 seconds, and then I'm going to stand. Working on that nice vertical dip position, flat foot balance through the feet, so I can really hone in that dip for the work set. Now after that pause dip, I'm going to move into some push press. So I'm going to take that dip down, no pause, and drive out of the bottom, sending that dumbbell into that overhead position. I come back down, dip, drive out of the bottom, letting that hip extension, knee extension, send that dumbbell overhead, and I come back down. Last one, dip, drive overhead, focusing on that good position. The arm is straight, locked out overhead, and you can see, in a perfect world, you can see my ear on the other side of that arm. So we're in a nice overhead position, nice and locked out overhead. From there, each of those push press, you're going to hold for 5 seconds overhead to give yourself just another chance to warm up those arms and shoulders. Our last exercise in this warm-up set is our curtsy lunge. So we're going to work on our lunge, but on an angle. So I'm going to stand in my squat stance, and I'm going to step back on a 45, and then I'm going to lower. So my hips are kind of off to this angle, and I lower down, and I stand tall, back to the squat stance. I step on the angle, lower down, and stand. So I'm staying nice and vertical with my upper body, and I'm just taking my time to lower that back leg as deep as I can maintain contact or control and not banging the floor with my knee. Staying nice and tall, nice and strong. Take your time with those. Remember, at the end of that movement, we're still in that same alignment as we would be if we were in a normal lunge. So my knee, heel, knee, hip. The only difference is I'm turned on this angle. So it's a nice little chance to work some rotation and some angular movement. Quick recap, we have a half Turkish Get Up for 3 aside, back scale to high knee jump, 20 seconds per side of just steady movement, dumbbell pause dip, 3 at 3 seconds, dumbbell push press with an overhead hold for 5 seconds on each rep, curtsy lunge for 6 to 10 alternating for 3 to 5 rounds. We'll take that down just to kind of get things fired up again, working on some different lunges, and then slowly getting ready to fire up this lovely work set that's coming your way. So pause the video, take down that work set, come join me for our workout and what's to come. All right, so our workout today is a 21-15-9 lunge alternating push press, all right? So with our lunge, we're gonna work on a back or forward lunge. So this can be loaded or unloaded. And I'm gonna have a bunch of different options. So like I said earlier, check the workout description for the variation of this workout that you wanna take down for you. So with our lunge, If we're loading, we can load in the front rack, we can load goblet, we can load suitcase or farmers. It's up to you. If you're going unloaded, hands can go wherever we want them to be. We just don't want them pushing on our thigh to help get up. We want to use our legs and our body to do that on its own. I'm going to step forward, keeping that knee stacked over top of the heel, my back knee under my hip, and nice and tall my torso. So I work that step, I lower down, I stand tall. So I stop that forward momentum to lower down. From there, I can also work a back lunge. So the alignment is the same. The only difference is I'm stepping back, lowering down. And sometimes this can be really helpful. Although awkward to step backwards, it can be helpful to judge where our step needs to be so I can keep that knee aligned over top of my heel and that nice vertical shin. Whichever one suits your needs the most and what allows you to get in the best position, I want you to play with it, right? So have some fun with it, work on it, pick that back or forward lunge, and you're gonna alternate back and forth until you've finished your total rep count. Once you've done your lunges, you're gonna move into your push press. We've covered the push press quite heavily in our earlier stage of warm-up, so if you need some points of performance or coach's notes, scroll back, check that out, check that push press out, and figure out all those pieces that we need in our work set. The only kicker is, if I only have one dumbbell, what am I gonna do, right? So if you have two, you'll take down your 21 with both arms. If you're working with that single dumbbell, you are going to alternate your arms every so many reps, or you can do half on one side, flip it over, half on the other side. So it depends on how you wanna take it down. We can play with that alternating back and forth every 3, maybe every 7 reps, who knows, whatever you wanna do for yourself, or like say half and half. Play with it, have fun with it, make it yours, all right? Make it yours. There's a few different options there, and I want you to have some fun. Now, today's work set is gonna be fast, it's gonna be furious. Have some fun with it, check out those workout descriptions, and enjoy this ease into the weekend. It's gonna be a nice fast burner after the last couple workouts we've had this week. As always, work for quality. Have tons of fun today, you guys. Happy early birthday, Becky. I hope you enjoy and extend this celebration out over the weekend. It's awesome. Super special individual you are, and I hope you have a fantastic day. To everyone else, have a fantastic weekend. Be safe, enjoy, and hopefully, if it's nice, get some time outside and enjoy your time. We'll come back at you on Monday with a lot more fun programming. Have a good one, you guys.